Okay, hello and welcome to the second part of Java tutorials with Matt. What I'm going to be doing is talking more about classes and going more in depth. I realise I haven't done a Java tutorial in a while. I've been focusing more on games and getting videos out about games. But this is something I've really been wanting to do. And unfortunately, just as I wanted to do this video, the cooling fan on my laptop's gone and broke. So unfortunately I have to deal with this aspect ratio for the moment. But hopefully I'll be getting a new screen and getting my laptop back soon. So when that happens, we'll have some better aspect ratios to work with. Okay, as I said, we're going to be working with classes in this video, and we're going to go more into depth with them, and we're going to start actually looking at why it's good that Java is object oriented, why they're so powerful, and how we can use them to the best of our ability. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up an actual package. So I'm just going to make a package called comp. That's just a common one to make, and set up a new class. Now the example I'm going to be using is animals. Okay, so we're going to make a class called animal, and I'm also going to make another class and call it engine, because the engine class is just going to hold the main function that we went over last episode. And so if you're not sure how this works, just go and watch it. But it's pretty much quite simple. It's a public static void function, rather than just public static. Okay, and all that does is it's just the entry point, as we said in the last episode. Okay, so what we're going to do is animal is going to be our main class. This is what's going to be called our parent class. And what I'm going to do to demonstrate this is use this program here, which is paint.net. It's a very simple program. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a box, and we've got animal. Now animal is our parent class, as I've just said, and what this is going to be, this quick little graphic, is just going to be a hierarchy to show what's actually going on. And so what we've got is off of animal, we're going to have two more classes. Now what's good about the classes is that you can have as many as you want. Basically we're going to be building up a hierarchy. I'm actually going to do 3, and so these 3 classes, and then within these 3 classes there's going to be, actually no, that would just be 1, this middle one's going to be 2. Okay, so now what we're going to have is we're going to have a box here, box here, box here, and a box here. So now what this hierarchy is demonstrating is just really what this... Oh, brilliant. Okay. So this hierarchy, is just showing like what the idea is with classes. So what we can do with classes is apparently foul with this box. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Yes, as I was saying, this hierarchy is just going to show us what we can do with classes and how classes are used in Java. Pretty much any programming language. So this isn't just true about Java, this is actually true across any programming language you do. Okay, I'm just going to fill these boxes back in very badly, so please excuse that. And we're going to have to put another box here. Brilliant. Okay, so what we've got here is just multi-stages. So this is just loads of different stages that the thing will take shape of. So you may have seen this design before. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 different types of animals. We're going to have a fish, we're going to have a dog, and we're going to have a cat. Within dog, we're going to have, I don't know, a bulldog and a Labrador. Okay, I apologise if that's the wrong spelling. I've never claimed to be good at spelling. Okay, so this is the hierarchy we're going to have, and basically what it's going to mean is that we've got animal, which is our main class, and that's going to be called our parent class. We have fish, dog and cat, which are all going to take traits off of animal, and then we're going to have bulldog and Labrador. Okay, I may split this section here where we've got the fish, dog and cat into another bit that will have marine animals and land animals, for example. So what we're going to do now is just create the animal class. We're going to create traits that the animal class is going to have. So some of the traits we're going to have is it's going to have an integer. We're going to make it a protected integer. I'll go over these in a second. We're going to call it age. We can have a protected integer of eyes. All animals have eyes, I think. Okay. So now these protected, what these are is you have 3 different types. You can have public, you can have private, and you can have protected. So what the public means is public means that any class can access it. So what that'll mean is as long as you've got something that has an animal inside it, anything outside of animal can access it. So in Engine, for example, we have a public main, which means that the function that's used by Java to run the application can access this just by creating an engine, which is quite simple. Private is the complete opposite. It means only that class can access the method. And this is normally used for things that you don't want to change. So if you imagine having a bank account and it's got a certain amount of money in it, you don't want anything to be able to change that money except for the bank account itself. Now you can have functions that will change the bank account, so you can reduce balance using a function, but you can't just change the balance to whatever you want. So that's what private does. Protected is sort of in the middle. What protected does is it means any children class can access it. So what this means, where we've got age and eyes here is protected. When we create our dog, for example, the dog will be able to change what the age is and how many eyes it has just from within the class. The actual dog class itself, it won't have to access a function in animal to change it, which is quite good because it means we can start messing around with proper inheritance. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create an animal called A, and it's going to be a new animal, and it's going to have an age of 2, and it's going to have 2 eyes. Not 12 eyes, 2 eyes. As you see, it's telling us we're wrong. That's because you just got to create a constructor. Now this is another thing in classes. When you create a class, if you don't have a constructor on a class, it means that you just create it, and that class will just be created. All variables will just be what they are by default, and it won't change any. Now what you can do with a constructor, is you can actually set what happens when you create a class. So here, I want the age of this class, or this instance of this class, to be equal to whatever age it's passed. And the same with the eyes. So that will be done just with them 2 little functions there. It's just this.age equals age, and this.eyes equals eyes. And that will create it so that when the class is created, the age is the same. Age is what we specify, and so are the eyes. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our first subclass. Now, in Eclipse you can do this quite easily, but for this one I'm going to show you how to do it manually. So what we're going to do is we'll call it land animals. So now we have land animals. So land animals will have a protected integer of legs, because they can have so many legs, and they will also have a protected integer, when I can learn to spell, protected integer of how many, I don't know, protected boolean of fur. So they can have fur as well. So now what we're going to do is, now at the moment this class just has these 2 variables here, legs and fur. If we go up here to where we actually define what the class is, and we put extends animal, and it's going to tell us we have to add a constructor. So what this will tell us is that land animal, now have a variable called age and eyes because they're taking them from animal. So what we do is when we're in land animal, we can now type that this dot, and you see now the actual variables are popping up. So now we have age, eyes, fur, and legs. So what this means is it means you don't have to create a variable for each land animal we create, and so this kind of helps. It saves a lot of time, and I'll show them later on in the series of how it actually saves time. So what we're going to do is we're going to want this constructor to be passed some more variables. So every time you create a land animal, instead of just passing its age and its eyes, we're also going to pass it its legs and its fur. And what we do here is the same functions we just had before, that this dot fur equals fur, and that this dot legs equals legs. Okay, so this is just the same that you've seen before, and this is how it goes. So what we're now going to do is we're going to create, we're going to break off of this land animals here. So we create another class, and this is one that's going to be called dog. So in dog, we're going to extend land animals because dog is a land animal, and it's going to tell us we have to create a constructor, which it will. Hold on. Okay, we're going to change it to land animals. Apparently I've got an S in it. So we're now going to create a constructor, and we're going to pass it the age, its eyes, its legs, and its fur. So this is right. We're going to add one more thing. This is going to be a string called fur colour, and we're just going to store that in here. So we're just storing that in the dog. Okay. So as you see here, this is instantly created as a private, which means only the dog can change its fur colour. Which we could go protected, but as we're not really going to break off of this anymore, we're just going to leave it like this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to create an animal. We are then going to create a land animal we just call it L for now. And so we're just going to leave it like that. This is actually going to tell us, because this is why I like Eclipse, it's actually going to tell us what it is that we need to include in the constructor. So now it tells us we need to create 3 variables and a boolean. So this will remind us we need to create its age, which is going to be 2. How many eyes it has, it's going to have 2. How many legs is it going to have? We can give it 4 legs, and yes, we want it to have fur. So now we delete the rest of this, and now we've created a new land animal, and it has 2 eyes, 2 legs, it's 2 years old, it's got 4 legs, sorry, and yes, it does have fur. Okay, so now that we've created the land animal, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a dog. Call it D, and we create a new dog, and it's going to have 2 eyes, it's going to be 2 years old, have 4 legs, yes, it's going to have fur, because the dog always has fur, and its fur colour is going to be blue, because it's a very weird dog. Okay, so now what we can do is if I write a quick function in here, what I can tell it to do is public print values, and this is going to be a void, sorry, and what the print values is going to do is just print out every value that it's got. And the problem with this is I actually had to do this in again, so this is just going to print out all the variables of this class. So this is just to prove to you that it does actually have each of these variables, and it is set in each one. It's not just set in one. So I'm just going to tell it to print each on its own separate line. And legs. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just tell d dot print values, and when we run it, you see down here in our console box, we get 2, 2, true, blue, and 4, which is exactly what we've got here. Okay, so if you're wondering what the actual main aspect of why we would do this. If you imagine having a database of, in our example, animals, can you imagine if every time you needed a new type of animal, you had to create a new variable to hold it? So if you had one variable for dogs, one variable for cats, one variable for fish, you'd get a very big array of variable types, let alone actual variables. So what we can do with this is we can actually create some new different ones. So we can create an array list of animals. Call it animals. So if we set up an array list, just so that small piece of code there, now we've got an array list of animals. And so what we can do with this now is, if I just quickly create some more actual classes. Do is change to superclass. So create a new class. I don't know what it's known as yet, but so we're going to create a new class called cat. Extend land animals. Okay, so what we're now going to do, let me just leave that for now. Right, now every time we wanted to create an animal, so if we wanted to add an animal to it, so let's say a dog, the code we use is animals dot add. Now we've got to add an animal. It specifies where to add an animal, but because dog is a type of animal, we can now just type new dog and add whatever we want. So it's 4, 2, 2, 4, and blue, green. This dog's around green fur. And change it to true. Okay, so now what we've got is we're adding a dog to the animal. And what we can also do is we can add animals dot add, and we can add a new cat. And this one we can make it 4, 2, 2, true. False, we'll have a cat without fur. And so now what we've got is animals, and we're adding a dog and a cat. So what we can do now is build up an entire database of loads of different types of animals, but we can actually keep them all in one variable. So it's nice and in one place, and we can keep them. So this is alright if you make a database of animals, but it's also good when creating games. So when creating a game, the airport simulator video I put up not too long ago shows loads of different squares, panels is what I've called them, and they are all one under the panels parent class. So there's a parent class called panel, and under that there is loads of different children class, and each one of them squares is its own panel, so I can control each of them individually, but I can actually just hold them all in one variable called panels and access them all whenever I want. And that's why classes are so powerful in Java. There's so much you can do and go so in depth with them that they are really powerful. That's it for this episode, and next episode we're going to be going into a little bit more and maybe starting a project that you can join in with, and I'll help you walk you through. I'll show you how to do some bits and expect you to do the rest. I won't leave you struggling, so I'll always be available if you want a question. But other than that, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and come back next week. Thank you.